the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, also known as SOGI. This is a Senate bill which is created by the Philippines. So the objectives of this lesson is to understand the issue on human rights and violation and discrimination on the basis of SOGI. And two is understand the impact of human rights and violations in discrimination to the Filipino society, formulate with the activists of programs to address this human rights violation and discrimination on the basis of SOGI. So SOGI means sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, which is the Senate Bill number 689, and anti-discriminatory bill, a proposed legislation before this Philippine Congress intended to prevent various economic and public accommodation related to the discrimination against people based on their SOGI. This is still a House bill created by the House representative of the a House representative of the by a congressman. Uh, in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, this is 1, 2, 3 is stated there is everyone has the right to educate, and education shall be free, at least in the elementary and fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical and professional education shall be made generally available in, and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. And two is education shall be directed to the full and development of the human personality, and to strengthening of respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms, and it shall be promote understanding, tolerance, and friendship among all nations, racial or religious groups, and shall be further activists of the nations for the maintenance of peace. And third is parents should be have a prior to right to choose of education that shall be given to their children. This is human rights against to the students who are being treated as abuse, abuse gay rights of the Human Declaration. For the Tunin and Australia, for the case of the Tunin and Australia in 1994, this case was this case was in the mid 90s of Tasmania. Was the Australian in consensual was a case of consensual sex between two men fighting for against of their human rights. The name of the person was Nicholas Cernan, who fought against in their case was was a gay activist of the HIV and AIDS awareness campaigner. These two men fought against of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. In Article 17 of the Universal Law, it stated no one shall be subjected to arbitrary or unlawful interference with his parents, family, home, or correspondence, nor to unlawful attacks on his honor or reputation. That was stated in the Article 7, which Sternen argued with the UN Human Rights Committee in the Tasmanian law. For the national and local policies, anti-discrimination employment was enacted in 2004 in Quezon City. LGBTQ-friendly provisions are supplemented in the Quezon City, which was the Gender and Development Ordinance development of the development ordinance. The LGUs from different cities all over the Philippines have been proactive in passing and filing city ordinance banning LGBTQ. The anti-discriminatory bill is still pending before the Congress. This bill was expected to be signed into law before the Duterte administration. Prior to this, bills several LGUs has enacted ordinance resolution to address to address this issue. So, House Representative Raymond Palentino, Kabataan Party List, filed the House of Resolution of 123. This this was created by Congress. This was created by Congress Raymond Palentino in the year 2004. Yeah, year 2004, which seeks to investigate prejudicial, discriminatory, and unjust practices against LGBT students implemented, tolerated in schools, partnering with DepEd and other government agencies to explore the inclusion of comprehensive gender and curriculum on basic and secondary education in vocational technical schools and incorporated discussion on of issues of LGBTQ persons. And prior to that, in May of 2012, the DepEd on DepEd Order Number 40, the DepEd declared the DepEd child protection to guarantee the protection of child in schools from another of violence, abuse, or exploitation, regardless their sexual orientation and gender identity. So they cannot be bullied from their schools when they are being noticed by when they are noticed known as gays or any kinds of sex which is not related to their normal state. So Reholio is gonna continue this report. So this is the end of my report. So okay.